and their own success in their own relationships, a lot of these people are single, or they literally don't have any fruit of how to be in a successful marriage for any amount of time, if at all, or even a relationship at that point. Let's not even talk about marriage, just a relationship in general.
All right, what's going on, everybody? My name is Jonathan. I want to welcome you guys to another video on my channel, Honor Your Temple. This is going to be a really good video because I'm going to be doing a chest, shoulder, and tricep workout for you guys. And I'm also going to be going over a topic that I have personally failed miserable at, and I can know that a lot of people are also dealing with, really wanting and desiring to find the right partner and the right relationship and person that they can do life with and spend life with. And I definitely believe God desires that for everybody. But I also know, sometimes we deal with, a lot of loneliness and a lot of just, feeling like we have a void when we don't have that person in our life. And in that void, we can fill it with a lot of the wrong things, and we can look to a lot of the wrong things to try to overcome that. And it can be very damaging to your life and ultimately helping you become the person that God wants you to be. And if you follow my channel for any time, you know that I don't just want to help you guys physically. I genuinely want to help you guys, accomplish everything God has for you and walk out the life that God has for you. And I don't want this to be something that, interrupts that. And I definitely don't want you to make the mistakes that I've made personally when it comes to that. So we want to talk about all that. We're gonna have a good workout today, guys. So let's get into it.
All right, so before we get into the workout, man, I'm just gonna warm up with a little bit of foam rolling. I'm gonna be specifically foam rolling over my back, as you see me now. I wanna also foam roll over my lats. I want to foam roll over my chest and my tricep specifically. These are generally the areas that I like to foam roll before I get into my heavy chest, shoulder, and tricep days. These are usually the muscles that I'm going to be working heavily. So I warm them up just to get some blood flow and get some of the fascia and tissue that may be tightened in those specific areas, just to relieve it by foam rolling to get myself feeling loose, get myself feeling ready, and prime myself so I can get into the workout. So you're just gonna see me foam rolling over right now. Then we're gonna start with our first little chest exercises that we're gonna get into. All right, guys, so to start out, we're gonna hit a little superset. I'm starting with these high-low cable flies, and then I'm gonna go into dips. So this is the little superset that I'm performing right now to start out this workout. This is a very different push workout that you will normally ever see me do on my channel, specifically right now because I got some biceps and tendonitis in my shoulder. So really any pressing movements, whether it's dumbbell pressing, incline pressing, or overhead pressing, any of those movements, they are very painful for me right now with this my left shoulder specifically. So trying to rest and just deload that shoulder out so I can get to feel better and get back to really like pressing like how I like to. So kind of like the way I've been able to work around that, I've been able to do very lightweight flies and very low range of motion dips, like how you see me doing right now, to still get a little pump in my chest and just keep myself, not from, going too off the rails there. So this superset's been really well for me. It's definitely been something that you will feel in your chest as well, and it's not something that bothers my shoulder too much. So I like it. Big keys here too that you'll see me during these flies. You see me stretching it out as far and low as possible. That's giving me like the best chest contractions and chest pump, trying to reach out as far down and as out as possible. It's going to give you a really good contraction. You'll really feel your chest pop as you continue to do that. And on these dips, just keeping the range of motion low. I'm not trying to get too deep because again, my shoulders definitely bother me, so I'm not trying to overstress it too much, but just enough to give myself a little pop, give myself a little feel in my chest to get it pumped up. It's a really good superset right here. So I'm just banging through. I'm going to go through about 5 sets of each on here, about 20 reps on the flies. Again, this is very low weight because my shoulder is messed up. I'm going for about 12 or 15 reps on dips. And after that, we're going to get into a little talking point here where I'll go over the loneliness part and dealing with loneliness, and talk a little bit about trusting God for the right person.
All right, y'all, the first thing I really want to encourage you guys with, to anybody that may be dealing with, trying to find the right person and, dealing with a little sense of loneliness because you don't have that person, is just don't rush or don't chase after that, relationship or that person, and really focusing on yourself. Put more of the focus on doing the assignments and things that God has called you to do, and more so becoming the person that you want to specifically be for that individual that you're, desiring for and believing God for. One of the biggest mistakes that I've made is in chasing after that, and if it doesn't end up harming you, it will end up harming the other person when you go into a situation knowing that you don't really desire that person. You're just kind of with them because you're filling a void that you have, and you're, just kind of doing and getting into a relationship for no real reason, with no long-term, goal or pursuit in that. So I encourage you guys, man, to just really, really focus on building you, developing your relationship with God, developing yourself, becoming a better man, a better woman, and letting God divinely bring that person into you along your path of following the things that God has for you, and ultimately working on you and yourself and those things. I believe God has a person for everybody that's going to watch this video, and I know God desires you to have that person, and I know in His timing, when that person does come, I know that person's going to be tied to not just, filling that desire that you have, but really for everything and what you're called to do and your assignment, even in your partner's assignment that you'll have. You guys' connection is going to be way more than just a relationship. It's going to be something that's going to benefit you in so many other ways. And you really want to focus on finding that specific person and not just getting involved with, women or men just because. I promise y'all, I've made that mistake way too many times, and it's taken me a long time to learn that lesson. And I don't want to see anybody on my channel make that same mistake of doing that, because it can delay. Your process can delay you, ultimately achieving the things that you genuinely, truly desire to, and that I know God wants you to put onto this earth. And focus on that, man. Focus your relationship with God. Focus on building you. And I promise you, in that divine timing, God will bring that person. And I've been that journey with y'all, because I'm right there, just being head down, trying to stay focused, trying to keep myself away from, desiring relationships, going on things and doing stuff just out of filling that void of loneliness. It is something that I work on daily and try to keep myself in that place daily. And it's hard, there's certain days where it hits you harder than others, but as long as you can always realign yourself with your purpose and what God has for you, and putting yourself head down, working on those things, I know God's going to bring that amazing person in your life that's going to love you, be there for you, and ultimately help you in all the things that, God has for you while you're here.
All right, after I finish that superset, I'm now getting into these low to high chest flies. This is the safest way that I can hit my upper chest right now. So I can actually push this specific fly a little bit harder than I will that high to low chest fly, because this one doesn't really bother or tinge my shoulder up at all, especially when I up the resistance on this. So I am going to go pretty heavy. I'm going to go 4 sets at about 15 to 10 reps on here. And then I'm going to finish out with a drop set too, as well, because again, I can go pretty heavy on here, and because I'm not getting as much volume with dumbbell pressing, I'm going to really push the volume out on these flies to try to give my chest a good pump. So I'm just starting out with a couple warm-up sets right now, and then after these couple warm-up sets, we're going to take a little pause. I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit more about just dealing with that loneliness season and making sure we're not filling that loneliness void with things that can harm and distract us from getting to our purpose. So go finish these warm-up sets, then we'll take a break and we'll talk about that.
All right, guys, so alongside of just finding that time and that discipline to be able to not chase and really focusing on yourself and building yourself, even in that, there's still going to be, that heavy sense of loneliness that I know that you guys may feel. So, outside of focusing on yourself, properly dealing with and understanding how to, manage your time and your season of singleness properly, and making sure, even if you're not filling yourself up with, random relationships and unfruitful relationships to fill that loneliness void, there's so many other things that you might look to, whether it could be partying, whether it could be drugs. I know for me, pornography was a big one that I felt my loneliness with, or when I felt like I was lacking intimacy in a relationship sense. So I know there's a lot of different things that you guys can look to fill your loneliness with that can really be damaging to you and your path and your relationship with God and becoming, the person and accomplishing the things that God has for you. So another big thing I encourage you guys with, man, is really probably filling that loneliness time with, developing your relationship with God for sure. Really finding solid community with people, whether it be, people you find in a gym sense, like where we're at right now, whether you get connected with a church home, whether it's your family. I know a lot of you guys, unfortunately may not have, a mother and father around like how I've been blessed with in my life to be able to go to and have an intimate relationship with my actual parents. But if that's something that you may need to work on and feel like you desire, that could be a thing that's having that void there. Whatever it is in the healing processes that you need, you can fill that loneliness with and be able to heal from some of the trauma things you may have around relationships. Focusing on those two things can go a long way and just help you become the person, being able to not be getting distracted or, chasing after things to fill a void that is not going to be conducive to your success is going to be really, really important. So I encourage you guys to find healthy ways to deal with your loneliness voids. Build community, build friends, find people. It doesn't have to be a lot. You don't have to be friends with everybody, but having that solid core of people that you can communicate with, you can communicate your feelings with, you can communicate how you're feeling with, will go a long way in just helping to manage it. Even if you do backslide, being able to get you back on track and keep you focused on the things that you need to be.
So that's the big key, guys, man. Just staying focused, not trying to fill yourself up with a lot of things that are going to harm you, harm your success, harm your future. Even for some of you guys that are, working on your physical body, harming your results you can have there just because we're dealing with that void of loneliness. I don't want to see you guys do that. And I just want to see you guys build a solid community, continue to build yourself, build your body, build your life, work on the things and the assignments God has for you, and continue to be your best. So that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to continue to focus on. And yeah, as you see here, we're just knocking out these final sets of low to high flies. This is my drop set that I'm getting into now. So again, I could push this pretty heavy. So I want to really push my chest here, going for about a 4, 6 to 10 rep drop set. Going to really burn it out, try to get as much of a pump in there as possible. Then we're going to move to the next set of exercises after this drop set. All right, next we're going to start a little combo here. So I'm going to go, as you see now, with these barbell shrugs. I'm going to superset that with some dumbbell T-raises and then some dumbbell bent over reverse flies. This is going to be a way to kind of hit all the, muscles around my shoulder complex that I want to hit. Again, I cannot shoulder press right now, so any type of overhead pressing movement, which I would always encourage anybody to do when you're looking to build your shoulders. But for me right now, that's just causing a little bit too much pain. So this little we'll call this a tri-set right here, kind of allows me to kind of like hit the main areas that I want to in my shoulder. I'm not going to hit my front shoulder too much because again, I'm just trying to rest that front part because that's really the area of my left shoulder that's really bothering me. So we're just going to try to hit, the lateral delts, the posterior delts, and I'm going to hit my traps as well with this little tricep right here, giving me a good pump, keeping my shoulders active and, making sure we're still developing and not really digressing, but trying to progress as much as possible. So just hitting this tricep right here, I'm going for about 15 of each. I'm going to try to go 15 shrugs, 15 flies as you see now, and then 15 reverse flies. So 15 T flies, 15 reverse flies, 15 shrugs, knocking this out, about 4 to 5 sets of these here. I'm going to pause in a minute though, because I'm going to share with you guys some advice that I will take for any of you guys. I know we've been talking about dealing with loneliness voids, but this next one, I want to talk about some advice that I want you guys to stay away from when it comes to, searching for that person that I've seen a lot of people make mistakes out of, and even me that I've looked at and I've just kind of assessed for my own and realized this might be something that might could harm you guys. So I'm gonna knock out a couple sets of these and we'll get into that next talking point.
All right, another piece of advice I want to give you guys for, if any of you guys are in that place like me where you're feeling like you're lonely and you're believing for that person and, hoping for that person to come to you is, if you're on any type of social media and around the internet, you see a lot of these, what I'll call, relationship experts or dating experts or people that try to give you advice about relationships and what you should or shouldn't be doing and what a healthy one does look like or doesn't look like. And what I will tell you is when I see a lot of these people, not talking about everybody, but the majority that I've came across, unfortunately, when I go and I check the fruit of their life and how they're living and their own success and their own relationships, a lot of these people are single or they literally don't have any fruit of how to be in a successful marriage for any amount of time, if at all, or even a relationship at that point. Let's not even talk about marriage, just a relationship in general. They can't even produce fruit in that sense for them. So I encourage you guys to just be careful with the advice you take. I know a lot of times when you're single, you might, catch stuff in that search algorithm. You watch one little dating video, all of a sudden all that stuff keeps popping up on your timeline. And I just want you guys to be careful. If you are going to take advice from anybody when it comes to that, man, really check the fruit of their life. Make sure the way that they're living and the relationship that they have is one that you desire for yourself, that looks like one that is a godly one, that's a successful one, and one that's going to sustain you, long term. If you don't see that fruit in their own life, why would you even want to take the advice that they have for you? And my thing is, even in the Bible, it says that you will know people by, their fruit, not their words, not, what they're saying or whatever, by the fruit that they're actually producing through their life. And I want you to follow people that have fruit in their life when it comes to actually having successful relationships, how to properly, keep a relationship and how to properly get the right person for you. So just do that. Make sure we're checking that and not just running off with any type of advice and trying to run with it, because the advice that you get for the wrong person could end up being the thing that keeps you from actually finding the thing that you actually desire. And I don't want that to happen for anybody that follows my channel, okay? So be careful, watch the advice you take, and continue to live your life, man. I promise you that person will come.
So that's my big thing there, guys. Just be careful who you're taking advice from. I know there's so many people just giving all types of stuff on the internet when it comes to that specific topic of, dating and loneliness and finding the right person for you and relationships, and just be careful, checking their fruit. And more than anything, man, just really trust God to bring that right person into you. You don't have to search for it. You don't have to find it. God knows the exact person that is for you. And if you just trust him with that and you focus on, really building yourself, focus on your relationship with God, focus on you being the best man or woman possible for you, I promise you that, God will bring that person into you when it is the right and the most perfect time, and God makes no mistakes with that. So just trust that, continue to live your life, continue to stay focused, and more so than anything, man, just, leave all of that to God. I promise you, when you do that in the right timing, he will bring the most perfect individual that will change your life and be more than what you've ever asked for. So keep staying with it, guys. We're going to finish out these last little sets on this tricep that we're hitting here, and then after that we'll move to the final exercise, that size or superset that I'm going to do in this workout. All right, and to finish out, guys, we're going to hit this little superset to touch up the triceps. I'm hitting these cable tricep kickbacks, and I want to superset that with some dumbbell skull crushers. Okay, I love hitting skull crushers with dumbbells. I feel them a lot better as opposed to hitting it with like a barbell or like an easy bar or something like that I've seen other people do it. Hitting skull crushers like how you're about to see me do now, a really good exercise for the triceps. If any of you guys want to try a new one and haven't done this one yet, you will certainly really feel this, and it's a great one for developing the tricep. So I'm going for about 15 to 20 reps on those cable tricep kickbacks and trying to go for about 10 to 15 reps on these skull crushers. It's going to hit every head of your tricep. Your tricep does have 3 heads, so you want to make sure that you're hitting both the long head, the short head, and the medial head. And this superset is going to target every single head in the tricep to really develop them and get them to pop. So just going to bang through about 5 sets of these. Then we're going to finish out.
All right, y'all, that's gonna be it for this workout and this video, man. I hope you guys enjoyed that. If I can leave you guys with anything, man, I know and I understand, that feeling of desiring a relationship and wanting to find your person and wanting to do life with a significant other. Again, it is an area that I've greatly struggled in, as I've, had a season of chasing and getting in bad relationships and filling my loneliness voids with, porn and other bad relationships and just other things that really negatively affected my life and ultimately leading me away from the purpose that God had for me. And this video, I just want to encourage you guys to not make those same mistakes that I did, to really focus on yourself, really focus on, building whatever it is that God has you wanting to really build in this time, whatever assignments He has for you. Focus on that. Focus on your relationship with Him. Focus on bettering yourself, getting over, some of the maybe negative habits and negative things that you're doing that that you want to really grow in, that any new skills, any new things that you want to develop in you to become a better man, a better woman, a better individual, so that when you find that person, you'll ultimately be ready. Putting 100% of your focus on that, not 99%, not 90%, really 100% focusing on those things in yourself and building yourself with the intent and the goal that you will find a person, you will have a person one day, and that everything you're doing is going to ultimately lead you to that. Really knowing in your heart that that will be the case, and understanding that you can put your faith and trust God, and bringing that person to you at the right time is going to do everything I know will keep you guys, accomplishing all your goals and becoming the person God has made you to be. So that's all I really want you to get from this video. I hope you guys got that, and any other great information that I may have said or you may disagree with, that is okay too. This is just my way of helping you guys, man, and sharing my insight and what I know, can really help you and lead you to the ultimate things you want. So if you guys rock with the video or disliked it, definitely leave all feedback in the comments below. We'd love to engage with you guys more, answer anything, talk about even other stuff I might not have said in this, any and all that. Leave it in the comments below. Definitely leave a like as well if you did like the video. Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification as well. Honor Your Temple. It's all about helping you guys maximize the one life and the one body that you have. And I believe we do that by first and foremost focusing on our fitness, making sure that we are strong, making sure we're as healthy as we can be, and making sure we establish not just a strong physical body, but a strong relationship with God. I believe if we have these two things in order and we are fully living a life of obedience, living a life of holiness, that everything that God has for us and everything you want to accomplish will naturally and seamlessly come to you as you are very strong in those two areas. And this channel is all about trying to keep you on the right path toward that. So if you guys rock with that message and want to become a part of this community, would love for you guys to subscribe, man. And just want to thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one.